Welcome everybody. This is Diploma in Pre and Junior Primary Education, Mother Tongue Literacy and Development 2. It is an assignment-based contact session for 2018. Welcome to this academic year. We hope it's going to be an interesting one. I'm presenting a Mother Tongue English 2, the outline of the assignment, how we are going to work out the assignment or how we are going to go through the assignment. My name is Miss Andima. Those are my contact sessions, my contact details. My number is 081-2863-575. The contact time, 1700 hour to 1900 hour. The most convenient way of contacting me is via email. Then I will be able to get back to you as soon as possible. The assignment. As students, it's very important to have a look at your assignment carefully. As part of your assessment, you must ensure that you've read all the instructions carefully, because it's from these questions that you are going to be developing the answers or the way of answering. So reading the instructions, not only reading but also follow the instruction. You read, you understand, and follow the instructions. Read the assignment tutorial letter. On the assignment is a tutorial letter attached. Please read every detail of information that is presented on that letter. It is very important and it's helpful to you. Do your work on time and adhere to due dates. Very importantly, when you do your work with time, it improves even on the quality of the work. For you to ensure that you have submitted quality work, an assignment that is well done, please do it on time. You are given it beforehand in order for you to go through it and do it and perhaps revisit what you have done again. There is a due date. Please make sure that you have looked at the due dates and submit on time. Read thoroughly through your study guides. Another important point. The study guides, they serve as the guides. They contain the information that you need or that you are using, be it in your assignment or the content that you need to learn for your course or for the examination. Therefore, you need to read not only for the purpose of the assignment, but you need to read to understand in order to grasp the whole content of the study guide, because this is the information and the content that you need in your course. Answer sufficiently relate to marks allocation, meaning you look at how much is allocated for you to be able to know how much or how many answers you have to give. Let's say, for instance, the question carries, let's say, 6 marks. You look at your answer and weigh it, whether it's really sufficient enough to give you the 6 marks given. That's what you are talking about. Do not over-answer and do not under-answer. When you do not understand, seek for help, be it from the fellow students, somebody else who seems to understand better than you, or the tutor. You can always call the tutor during the time that is given or through the email. Familiarize yourself with the assessment or action verbs. These action verbs are listed in both study guides, that is DPP and DJP. I forgot perhaps to mention at the beginning that the two courses, that is DJP as well as DPP, they are combined and you are writing the same assignment. All the assessments are the same, be the examination, it is the same, you are writing the same paper. So it's also important to make an effort to familiarize yourself with both guides, the content of both guides, because it will help you. If the courses are combined, that basically means that you are using the content from both study guides. Familiarize yourself with that. The verbs we are talking about, so that you know the difference. For instance, what is it required from you? If it says discuss, analyze, or whatever kind of verb, action verb that is in the question, that is contained in the question, because this is the core part of the question that you need to focus on. What is it that is expected from you? We're getting into the details of the assignment. This assignment covers various parts or areas from different units of the study guides, such as learners with auditory problems. This is part of Unit 1. Please go through and read to understand what auditory means, what are the auditory problems that are associated with children or learners, especially in your class or in general. Students do, as a student, you are doing a classroom observation, and from this observation you will identify learners with possible auditory perception problems. Like I said again, you must observe a class, a real classroom with learners, where you are going to identify learners with such problems, auditory perception problems. When you have found out about these problems from the class, you look at your study guides, those problems that are outlined in your study guide, you compare with what you have found out from the class and what is presented in the study guide. You are going now to present those characteristics. All of them, be it what you got from your observation, as well as what is presented in the study guide. Those are auditory problems that are found in our learners at school. We're moving on to listening skills. Listening skills are very important. Just like we've talked about auditory problems, they may interrupt or interfere with the listening skills of our learners. In reference to the study guide, you will outline the general guidelines for teaching listening. How is listening supposed to be taught in a classroom setting from you as a teacher? I hope that is clear. The next one is phonemic awareness. Before you get to the question or to attempt to answer the question, understand first what phonemic awareness is. Define it from the classroom perspective. It's important that you have that understanding for you to be able to approach the question that is highlighted in the assignment. What are the phonemic awareness skills? They are there in the study guide. They are presented. Please ensure that you have the correct skills and you understand what they mean to you as a teacher in the classroom, presenting to the students or to the learners. The next part of the question is, you elaborate on each skill by giving an example for each. Come up with your own examples relating to this phonemic awareness skills. From the phonemic awareness skills, we're moving on to reading skills. In the first place, understand the concept of shared reading. But before you move on to shared reading, understand all the terminologies that surrounding reading skills for you to understand the in-depthness of the whole reading as part of these skills. Understand the concept of shared reading. Once you understand it, you'll be able to define it. The next one, describe methods to promote children or learners' awareness of the values of reading. I would prefer the word learners instead of children because we are dealing with learners in the classroom. That's how we call them. What are the activities that a teacher can use to help to develop analysis and synthesis skills? Again, perhaps the first thing is to understand, to break it down, to understand what analysis and synthesis is in order for you to cover their skills. Because you cannot just go directly to the skills without understanding or without defining the two. The next part is to distinguish between phonics and phonological awareness. We have previously talked about phonological skills. Here is phonological awareness as well as phonics. Understand them, differentiate. To distinguish is to differentiate or to lay out the difference between the two. To continue the reading skills, there is what we call incidental reading in the classroom. What are the ways of promoting these incidental reading competencies in our classrooms as teachers? Next to that, pasting words on certain objects or simply displaying words on the wall can be important to our learners in the classroom. Referring to the example in your study guide, that is on page 62, you are going to design a duty chart for your learners. Remember, we are talking about reading skills. We would like to emphasize as well as instill the skills of reading. Give your own examples for your class to help to promote incidental reading. Another strategy for reading is the KWL. KWL is good as it helps children to understand what they read. As a student, you are expected to briefly outline the steps involved in this strategy. Read the strategy, understand it, then you will be able to answer this question. From the reading skills, we're moving to speaking. Storytelling skills. You are expected to name as well as discuss the activities a teacher can carry out to check the comprehension of the story, to encourage learners to practice new language during and after storytelling in a junior primary classroom. What are those activities? You name them as well as go into detail. Thus, it says name and discuss. The next one as well, name and explain. These are public speaking or presentation skills that are needed by teachers. Once again, it's reading through our study guides thoroughly in order for us to understand and get the correct answers. From there, we're moving to the next part, which is learners with special needs. Not all the learners are the same or equal in our classroom. We find learners with different abilities, learning abilities. There are learners that are found with special needs. It's good that we are familiar with different learners to get to know all the learners in our class, their abilities, their disabilities as well. The statement is presented to you. Young children with special needs learn by the same principles as typical children, but their specific challenges demand careful additional strategies. As a teacher that has learned about strategies, ways on how to deal with learners with special needs, it's your responsibility, that this responsibility lies with you to be able to make sure that all the students are equally helped, all the students or all your learners are equally taught, and they understand at the same level, so as those with special needs. Like the statement says, they need careful additional strategies. Please elaborate on this statement, expand on this statement, how you understand it, what you understand about this, and what you would perhaps do about the learners in your classes that have special needs. What are those additional strategies that you would employ, that you would use in order to help your learners that have special needs to make sure that they are at the same level with other able learners that do not have special needs? Special education, we are talking about inclusive education in which every learner has to be on the same or on par with each and everybody. Students, we have highlighted the need of you to work well in your assignment, work thoroughly in your assignment. The reading is very important, reading with understanding. Do not just read for the sake of reading because you have to answer the questions, because you have to hand in your assignment, but read to understand in order to grasp the content, which helps you in delivering in your classroom as well. This brings us to the end of our assignment presentation for 2018. I hope the students will dedicatedly do their work and put their effort into this assignment, and it's going to bear them good fruits. At this very end, I would just like to wish you luck with your assignment as well as with your studies in general. Thank you.